And welcome back to the Kidney Trails Building You Conference 2022. We are excited to be here once again with each and every one of y'all. And I am thrilled to be able to host this last day. It's been interesting, has it not? I think it has. I hope that each and every one of you have gotten something wonderful out of each and every one of these sessions. It has been absolutely fantastic. And I have learned a lot. And the reason we did this was certainly to help build you and wherever you're at, your career. And we're really excited about today's session. And I can tell you one thing right now, that we have a wonderful, wonderful guest speaker here today. And what we're doing right now is we're going to get things set up on my end. So that way I can monitor and comment or monitor the comments in the chat. If any of y'all have any questions, please do not hesitate to put it in the comments in any of our social media channel. If we see it, I will definitely try to get to it. And if we don't see it in time, what we'll do is I'll try to reach out to the speaker and we'll try to get that question answered for you. But it has been absolutely fantastic to be here. We still have one more session after this, but I want you to know that I'm really excited about this session. I've been excited about the whole conference. It's been absolutely fantastic. So without further ado, I want to bring in our guest speaker today. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Gadsden. And welcome, Steve.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hi, Anthony.
Hello. So this is Steve Gadsden, ladies and gentlemen. I met him, and we'll just give a little quick background before he gets into it. Steve and I met, and I think we've talked about multiple times. We met back in 2020 through a mutual friend of both of ours, Kyle from over there in Scotland. And it was an absolutely fantastic meeting we had. I ended up speaking for his event, the Masterclass Sessions, this last year. Had a wonderful, fantastic time. And Steve has this thing called the Masterclass Sessions. If you have not joined or you haven't been to any of his classes, please, you must at least go. And you know what? If any of y'all are out there and you want to go to a Masterclass Sessions, either DM me or message me, and I'll be sure to get you over a free golden ticket so you can go attend one of his sessions. Every one of them is absolutely fantastic. They've helped me in my growth and in my entrepreneurial journey, in my business, in my career, in my life in general. So, Steve, I appreciate you taking time. And you know what? Without further ado, I'm going to let you go ahead and take the stage.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Am I able to share okay, Anthony?
Yes, let me get this set up and I'll set it over to you, okay?
Fantastic. Well, we're just doing that. So good afternoon. I said good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to this phenomenal conference that's been pulled together from Anthony in the last couple of days. And for myself, Anthony said there's going to be people here that are in business. There's going to be people that are not in business. There's going to be people that are really for the health and wellness. And I thought, what can I do that can pull it all together, that even although what I'm going to be talking about is mainly business related, there'll be parts on it you can actually see how you can use similar processes that you can put into your own life to get the connections that you require for whatever you really need. So hopefully through the session, they may have some questions, as Anthony said, put the comments in, happy to answer them. And if you're watching the recording, and if you've got any other questions, I'm sure if you passed it on to Anthony, he would get them to myself and we can get those answers back to you. But I'm going to share what I'm hopefully going to go through. I'm doing 2 sessions in one today. Anthony said, could you do something special for me? And I said, right, okay, let's see what I can do and see if I can actually pull 2 sort of sessions that I would normally do. We'd normally spend maybe an hour, 2 hours in each of the sessions. We're going to pull it all together. We're going through as much of the content we can in just over an hour and a bit. So hopefully you're as excited as I am of delivering this to you, because the main part of myself, I'm Steve Gadsden, as Anthony said. I've been in business for many, many years. I retired when I was 30 from a previous career. I got bored at 32. I was an entrepreneur from 13. And since then, I've continued to either open businesses, sell businesses, open businesses, keep them, etc., etc. But one thing that I've done all the way through that, especially from 30, I'm 54 now, is that you have to stand out from the crowd. But it's not about what you know most of the time, it's who you know. And what I'm going to go through today is give you a couple of ideas of how you can put processes in place and get your mindset in the right place for you to grow either your connections, have a better life, or grow your business. Because it's very, very simple. And everything I'm going to say today and tell you today is nothing really that majorly new, but it'll let you think about how easy it can be to do what you've got to do. Because the first thing you have to do when you're in business, or even if you're wanting to do something and if it's in your public life or whatever, you need to stand out from the crowd. You can't just be someone in the background, okay? But it's all about the actions that you take that get you the positive results. So I'm going to take you through two parts of what we're really looking at today. And those parts are, the first one is quick and easy, effective goal setting that everyone can action today, and surround yourself with businesses that give you business consistently. So as I said, even though these processes are all really mainly around business, you'll see how you can actually use certain parts of this for day-to-day stuff as well, if you want to achieve something. So let's get right into it. I'm sure you're all ready. If you are in the chat, say hi, say yes, I'm ready to go. If you're in the comments of social media and we're live broadcasting, again, get those comments in for Anthony to feed back to me. That's fantastic. Because the first thing we have to really think about is, are you networking effectively? Are you meeting the right people you need to meet for you to educate, for you to build relationships with, for you to get those connections, and for them to introduce you to who you need to be introduced to? So many people go networking, whether it's business networking or social networking or networking in general, and they don't really get it. They think that they go to the events, whether it's online or in person, and they sell. You've probably been there yourself. They sell, sell, sell. They want you to buy, buy, buy. But guess what? Most of the people are there are not ready to buy yet. They're there because they're wanting the exact same thing as what you're there for, is to get more business, get more connections, but never sell to them. So what you need to think about in networking is sell through them. And everything we're going to go through today is how you can sell through your networks, okay? So where do you network? As you can see on the slide, I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I always say you should be in 4 arenas. You should be swimming in 4 different ponds, okay? There's a pond that you're in, which is just maybe local businesses or whatever that you're looking to grow your connections with locally. The second one might be a global networking group. So you're actually speaking to more people outside of your comfort sphere maybe, but more people globally, so you can learn from them, educate them, because you never know who they know. Everybody roughly knows roughly 1,000 people. And even when you add on the social media on top of that as well, it can be tens of thousands. But remember, it's building those relationships. So think globally, you never know. They might have someone locally that's needing your product, service, or will need to meet you for whatever you do. Number 3 is when you're thinking about, what do I do in business and who do I need to have around me that's either similar sort of business as me, so we can do maybe some mastermind mindset stuff, we can learn from each other, there's peer-to-peer stuff there, there's so much stuff that you can contribute to that group, but they can also contribute back to yourself. And then pond number 4, you should always be in a pond where everybody else is better than you. So you're not the top dog, that everybody else in that room is better than you, so you're networking up and you're wanting to raise your game. Because if you're networking up, you're going to raise your game, then you get to that level, then guess what? There's another level up from that, and then there's another level up from that, and you keep increasing your net worth as you continue to go through that. So goals 1, 2, 3, and 4. Think of that, how you can do that in business, but also think of that, how you can use that in your life as well. Because if you're networking effectively, you can get the success that you deserve if you do it effectively and purposely, and with a process and plan. And I hope I'm going to give you that over the next short while. Very first thing everyone should do is have goals. I'm sure you all do. There's a lot of people that I meet and a lot of people that I mentor and coach and support and train that have never ever thought about setting goals. They're just going through life, la 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 la, and whatever happens, happens. Everyone should have a vision. Everyone should have a mission. Everyone should definitely have those goals in place. And if you really want to, when you're setting goals, you should visualize them as well, especially have a vision board, have something down that you can look at every single day. So you're constantly thinking, I want to achieve that, I want to get there. But I'm going to break these down quite simply for you today. So you can think about this and then you can work out how to do it yourself, because this is really simple. I want you to break down your goals into 3 areas. 3 areas, that's all, it's nice and simple. Goal 3 is your dream goal. Goal 2 is cream. And goal 1 is bread and butter. And we'll explain each one as we go through this. Because if you get those 3 areas in here, in your head, and down on paper, then you can work out how you're going to achieve those goals. Because there's no point having a vision and then breaking down your goals if you haven't got a process to achieve your goals. Is that not right? So let's see how we can do this. Let's break these goals down. So we're going to start with goal number 1, bread and butter. Bread and butter. It's the day-to-day business or the day-to-day stuff that you need to do that's going to just keep you through the day-to-day things. It's going to pay the bills. It's going to do all the bits and pieces that you need to do. The bread and butter, and when I look at goals, I really think of what's the sort of cheapest product or service that I can offer to the business world, and how many bits of business that I need just from bread and butter that's really just going to cover all my costs. It's going to cover all the bills, all the things that I need to do. So I don't need to worry about anything else. Because what you'll find is when you break down your goals, and especially break your product and services down to your bread and butter stuff, and you start telling people your goals, and this is what you require, especially when goal 1 is all about you only need maybe 100 customers selling and buying this widget or buying this service or buying this course or buying this product from you. It's an easy way of people helping you achieve your goals, because other business people out there want to help you achieve your goals. If you don't tell them, how can they help you? Once you start telling people your goals, especially this one, the bread and butter stuff, they go, is that all you need? Is that all? And when they start thinking it's that all barriers fall down and they start thinking of people who need your bread and butter product, service, course. Imagine your bread and butter products $1 and your annual bills are, say, $10,000. Straight away, you need 10,000 of those $1 bits, but you know if you've got a $1 product, you know you need the numbers. So when you're explaining that goal, your bread and butter, you say, I need 10,000 of this product, and this is the type of person that normally buys this product. That might not be the person you're telling the goal to, but I bet you they'll probably know people who need that product or service or course, or connect you to that person for whatever it is you want to do. Because you're not selling to them, you're educating them on what goals that you want. And having that goal number 1, that bread and butter one, it's so simple, it's easy, it's not threatening to them, it's not it's not high value. So therefore the barriers come down straight away. You want to make that bread and butter the simple product, service, course, whatever it is you want to do. So when they hear that and they're telling their connections, oh, Steve said he's got this product or service, it's only X amount of dollars or pounds or whatever currency it is, and this is the type of person that constantly buys from him. Do you know anyone like that? And then they'll probably say, yeah, we know people like that. And if they know, like, and trust you, they're going to bring those connections to you. But also if they do need themselves, they're going to say, oh, is that all it is? And they will buy from you if they know, like, and trust you anyway. So that's goal number 1, bread and butter, nice and simple. What I want to do now is go to the other side of the spectrum, goal number 3. And goal number 3 is your dream. If I could bring you an introduction, a connection that could be your dream bit of business or your dream connection, do you know who it is? Have you ever thought about it? Do you know what its value is? It's something that's going to be a life changer. It's going to change your life overnight. That's what dreams are. Now, if you know this and you know what it is you require, how many people have you told today who you need to be introduced to create your dream? One person? 2 people? 3 people? Have you told your friends, your families, your cousins, your distant cousins, your neighbours? Possibly not, because there's so many people out there don't realise, and they're embarrassed about telling people what their dreams and what their goals are, when we should have it the other way. We should be telling everyone what our goals are so they can help us achieve our goals. Imagine I told you what my dream connection would be. Well, I'll say, if I'm going to give you one example. I'm really looking for influencers in countries globally just now. Masterclass sessions is in 23 countries. I've still got a lot of countries to go with, especially a lot of the English-speaking ones. But influencers and executive coaches are absolutely fantastic for me. If I could get one of the big Instagram influencers in that country to contact me, the connections that they have would be a dream connection for me. It would probably make me excess another 250,000, maybe 500,000, maybe even $1 million a year, just with that one connection. Now, some of you may already say, oh, I know an influencer. I know somebody on Instagram or social media, or I know someone that's an executive coach who's really got lots of clients, etc. But you might not know me fully yet to know, like, and trust me. But if you do know, like, and trust me at that level, how would you feel if you brought that connection to me and said, Steve, remember you were asking for such and such, you were telling me what your dream goal was. I think I might have it for you. How do you feel when you're doing that and you want to give that to someone? I know how I would feel. I'd be really excited. I'd be really excited, because I'm probably helping someone change their life overnight by introducing them to that one connection. Now, imagine you put it across and you're giving that connection to me. How do you think I feel? Nervous, uncomfortable, excited, probably all the emotions together. But what am I going to think about you? I'm going to really, honestly, I'd be so passionate for one thing. If you've helped me achieve my dream, I now want to go out and purposely help you achieve your dream as well. So I will do everything in my power to say, what do you need? How can I help you? Because if you're helping someone achieve their dreams, they will want to help you achieve their dreams back, correct? So how many people have you told, or how have you thought about what your dream goal is yet? Start thinking about it and start writing them down. Who do you really need introduced to? And you need to think very deeply into this, because you want to write something down and then you have to say, is that the dream, or is there can it go up higher? Oh, it go up higher, right? Score that one out next. Think about that one. Is that the one? Can we go higher again? Yes, we can go higher again. Next. Until you get to that close to the ceiling part of that's it. You can't think of, you need that one, but once you get that one, there might be another one further down the line, but that's the dream at the moment. That is the one that you require. When you've got that, you write it down. Who do you need introduced to? What's it going to be of value to you? And then every single time you have a one-to-one with someone, or you have a meeting with someone, and they say, what do you do and how can I help you? You just say, well, I've got 3 goals. Goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3. You're going to explain it. But the goal 3 is the dream. And as I said, I've seen many people do this process. And within a year, they've had their dream connection, the dream bit of business. So it does happen. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to put that in writing? You're going to put it down, you're going to start telling people, because dreams can happen in business. But if you don't tell people, it's never going to happen, is it? And then we look at goal number 2. I call it the cream. This is the middle goal. This is the goal that is, I call it referral source categories. It's when you are asking to be introduced to someone that you can have one meeting with them, but they've got hundreds of the types of clients that you require. So you don't need to do hundreds of meetings to get that business, or that for people to get that course or whatever it is you've got to buy that widget, that product. You just need that one meeting because they've already got your client bank. You just need to build a relationship with that one person for them to introduce you to their whole database. And that's where the cream comes in. Because imagine you had to do, or some people do, they go one next person, and they might meet, have to speak to maybe 100, 200 people to get a sale or to get a connection. Whereas they think carefully about it, and we're going to go into this a lot deeper in a short while. Because if you get introduced to that one person and you build a relationship with that one person, they'll just continuously feed you and feed you and feed you the types of clients that you require. And that's why it's called the cream. So for example, again, I'm going to go to for masterclass sessions, another great cream introduction for your accountants. Accountants globally are fantastic for myself in masterclass sessions because they've got business owners that want to make more money. They've got business owners that want to learn from the best of the best. They've got business owners that want to be good in themselves. They want to be good business people. So accountants know their clients usually quite well. They might just know the numbers, but they'll say, oh, this business is doing well. This one business could be doing better. This one's struggling. They'll be able to then signpost that client to ourselves, say, you really need to be speaking to Steve at the masterclass sessions. The golden nuggets and the content that's at the masterclass session makes a difference to every business, from new start to multinational businesses. There's people that go and speak at the masterclass sessions, and Anthony, if you haven't seen it, there's a recording of the masterclass session he did. He smashed it out of the park. It was fantastic. The feedback from the business owners that watched Anthony speaking and the content that he delivered in that, just that 1 hour, made a massive difference to the business community globally. As accountants, they can see by the numbers where these people need the help, and then they can signpost it. So with me sitting down and building that relationship with one accountant, they could probably introduce me to 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000 clients just from that one meeting. Time efficiency is so important when, and this is not even just the point of it, if it's not a business connection, it's going to be someone that can connect you to someone who's going to give you that opening as well to get you in front of the masses. Why waste your time when you can focus, be direct, and ask who you want to be introduced to get that, build that relationship? Time efficiency is so important in business and in life. We don't want to be wasting our time. We need to be more effective. Because I know for myself, I'm very fortunate now. I've managed to do all my timings together. I now just do a 3-day week. I just do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I have a long weekend every weekend with my family because I've managed to put the time efficiency in place. And I've got great teams as well, but that's for another session further down the line about team efficiency. So breaking down your goals. Goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3. When we start breaking this down, especially the cream side of it, okay, this is where we're talking about this protection circle. I'm going to go into this a bit more, really in more detail in the next part of the session, because you need to be looking at this. This is where the cream all comes into play and how you should spend most of your time in the cream part of your goals rather than the dream and your bread and butter. But we'll go into that in a bit more deeper. Because when we look at your time management, as I said, I put them down as dream, bread, butter, and cream. Because what you want to be doing, you only want to be spending 10% of your time on your dream goals. You only want to be spending 10% of your time on your bread and butter. Sorry, it's wrong on the screen. It's bread and butter's 10%. And you want to be spending 80% on your cream. Sorry about that on the slide. 80% in the cream. You'll see by the performance side of the same dream, bread and butter, cream. Because if you're spending 80% of your time in the cream, that's where you're going to do more business. That's where you want to focus. So, now that you've looked at the gold mines, has that helped? Anthony, do we have any comments so far? Will I just continue?
We're good so far, Steve. Nothing yet.
Fantastic.
We're still monitoring the chat.
Excellent, thank you. So think of that, write your goals down. not just in here, write them down, think through them. What's my bread and butter? What's my dream? But really focus on the cream. Because what we're going to do now is really delve deeper into that 80% of where your time should be spent. If you do this exercise, this could 10x your business very, very easily. It will definitely bring you more of the right type of clients that you want, rather than the ones that waste your time. And I'm sure many of you have got clients that waste your time, and you probably spend more time with them than the ones that actually make you more money. And this, again, same as well in your life. There's probably people that you're spending time with that take a lot of your time with no return. You should be thinking about, who do I want in my life that's going to give me the return that I deserve? And surround yourself with. It's like we say, never surround yourself with people who are negative. You know, negative people bring you down. They hold you back. You know, sometimes they need support and help. That's fine. You support and help them, but don't surround yourself with people who are negative. Many, many years ago, I used to have a few negative people in my circle of influence, and they always wasted most of my time because they would want to be negative in what I was achieving, and they really want to pull you down. So what you need to do is look at the people around you who are negative and start to say, how can I move them further away outside the initial circle and bring more positive people around me to support me? Or find another pond, as I said in the networking part at the start. Is there a place where I can go? There's people better than me, so I'm networking up and they're more positive. It works in business and in life. Less negativity, more positivity. Forget about problems. Look at solutions. You know, if we all did that, I'm sure the world would be such a better place, especially in the business world. You know, too many people look at problems and they spend a lot of time saying, to me, it's negative. If things come up, how can we fix it? What can we do to get past it? What solution can we put in place? Start looking at the positives of how to get around it, how to get over it, how to get under it, whatever. Business is the same, but let's look at this 80%. Because who do you prospect just now? If you're in business, are you random or are you specific? Are you just throwing out that net as if we're fishing and pulling in the net and pulling in and find it's all full of small fish and fish that swim through the hole of the net? Or on the specific side, have you got your harpoon and you're throwing it in and you're bringing it back, you're bringing back the huge fish, you know? Or you've got that line that you've put out, that's specific, that's got a specific sort of bait on it, something there that's going to get the type of fish that goes for that, pulling in the big fish. Because it's the same in business. Where are you prospecting? How are you prospecting? What strategy you got in prospecting? Who are you prospecting with? Random or specific? Hopefully you're going to start looking at how you can be more specific where you want to prospect. Because when I talked about the 80% of your focus on your process, on the process of this, especially on that little goal number 2, the cream. We're going to be talking about these in a bit more detail, but who brings you business? Who refers to you? Who you collaborate with? Who you have similar or same clients? Who may have the same suppliers as you, but the most important one, the people who know, like, and trust you. Okay? People do business with people. Doesn't matter how great a product or service you are. If they don't like you, they're not going to do business with you. If they don't trust you, they're not going to do business with you. If they don't know you, they're definitely not going to do business with you. So when you talk about the know, like, and trust, and a lot of people throw that out all the time, but it's really important. People do business with people. People want to get to know other people, and whether it's in business or in your life, it's what people see you. And a lot of people make a decision in the first 7 seconds. So I think Anthony might have mentioned it yesterday, and also Mandy, I think, yesterday's talk, you need to turn up. You know, we say you need to turn up. You need to be on point all the time, especially in business mode. You can't not show up when you're meeting other business people. You have to be there and be positive. Because that first introduction or even second or third introduction make a massive difference on what path you're going to go in building a relationship with that person. Get to know the people, get to like the people, get to trust the people, because it's also what you do as well. You need to get to know, like, trust them as well. It's not just a one-way street, it's a two-way. So we're going to break into this and break down a bit more into this. Let's think of the first point. You know, have you or have you not wrote a list of business categories that can bring you lots of business? Have you done an exercise and you've sat down with a notepad or with your iPad or a notebook, your computer, whatever it is, and physically started writing it down? The types of business categories, not business owners or business names, the business categories that can bring you lots of business. Okay? When I talked about having that one meeting with someone that can bring you hundreds and hundreds of clients, depending what sector you're in business, there's going to be tens, 20s, if not hundreds of business categories that if you have one meeting with one person from that business category, they will have hundreds of the clients that you need to be introduced to. You know, as I said to myself, it could be executive coaches, it could be accountants, it could be bookkeepers, it could be event planners, you know, that maybe want speakers. It might be event planners that I've got speakers that I need to get contact with from my masterclass sessions. It could be networking organizers. It could be network founders. There's so many. And what you need to start writing the list down. Now, your list might go on 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages. That's fantastic. It might take you a while to think through it. There's hundreds and hundreds of business categories out there. A lot of people sort of put them all together into little, like solicitors. To me, there's 17 different types and categories of solicitor, lawyers. They all do different things. So you might have to think, oh, could that get broken down into even more? And when you're breaking things down and more, you'll actually find there's more opportunity in those for you to really focus into, instead of, again, not wasting your time, but spending a bit more time getting to the right person. Because when you write that list of business categories down, you'll also probably think, oh my goodness, I know some of these people myself that you've never ever contacted. You might have met them once, never did a follow up with them. You know, you've had someone think, oh my goodness, I had a meeting with that person, I need to go back to them. It's a great way of getting this really complex thing that's stuck in here, this brain that you've got, to actually start doing some work for you as well. You can't help yourself. Once you've got that list down, have you ever just picked up your phone, or you might be using a Rolodex, if you've still got one, or your diary, or your address book or something, and gone through every single contact that you have, even in a database you've got, and say, do any of them match up with the list that I've just written? Because this is hot prospects for you straight away. It could be someone you haven't, as I said, you haven't spoken to maybe for several years. Gives you the opportunity to contact them again, doesn't it? But that part one, so important. Write a list of the business categories that can bring you lots of business. That's the first part of how you can surround your business with strong relationships. Next part, which is I really, really enjoy. What you need to do now is pick 8. Pick 8 from that list of categories that will bring you a continuous stream of business clients throughout the year. What from your list, you rank them all, you know, rank your list from 1 to whatever, but you want your top 8. And again, go through your list. Maybe you have to go through the list 2 or 3 times. When you get it down to the top 20, look at that top 20, then rank the top 20 again, look at them in detail and say, is this the order that I want them in? You might move some people about, then put it down to your top 15, and then your top 10, and then your top 8. When you've got those 8 categories, you need to make sure you remember those 8 categories, but you also carry it with you. I've got it on my phone and my notepad, the 8 categories that I want to be introduced to right now. I carry it everywhere with me. If I can't get access to my phone, I can access it on my iPad. If I can't get access to my iPad, I've got access to my PC. I'm not too sure I can access it from my watch, though. I haven't tried that yet. But whenever I'm out speaking to someone or one-to-one or a networking event or whatever, and someone says, Steve, how can I help you? Who would you like to be introduced to? I can either pick one of my 8, I can tell them the goals that I've set, maybe how they could help me get introduced to them. And if they ask for more, I've got another 7 that I can give them. I'm not thinking, crikey, who do I need to be introduced to? And time's gone, wasted time. You want to have them ready. Preparation is key. We said yesterday as well, if you're watched yesterday, preparation is key. This is where you really can maximize your opportunity when you're just speaking to people in general. You might be even when you're going to a social event. I've seen myself speaking at a barbecue from my family, my cousin coming to speak to me and say, Steve, how the business is getting on, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, what's new? And then they say, oh, who you looking to, I can do for you? Can I help you? And straight away I'll say, yeah, this is the goals that I've set for my business for this year, ongoing. And these are the 8 business categories that will help me achieve those goals. Do you know any of them? Guess what? I hadn't seen my cousin for 2 or 3 years, but met him at the barbecue. 2 weeks later, he gives me a call and says, remember we were at the barbecue 2 weeks ago, Steve, and you mentioned a couple of different businesses you were looking for? I've got 3 or 4 here. Can I hook them up with you? Would you be happy to have a chat with them? Of course, thanks very much. You always have to have that preparation in place and be ready. Now, a lot of people say, oh my goodness, that's a bit OCD, that's a bit over the top. Is it really? It's conversations. You know, it's when you know when to put in that at the right time in the conversation. There's always a time when someone says, how's business? And you'll say, great. Or you say, not too good. Or you say, business. Oh yeah, great, I've set 3 goals for myself. It's how you frame how you want to respond, how you want to answer it. Someone says, how's business? Just say, it's great. I've got 3 goals set for me this year. I've got a dream, I've got cream, I've got bread and butter. 8 businesses, the business categories I'm looking to be introduced to are these. Can't wait for this year. How many people are going to get a response like that? Because I know when I go to events saying, how's business? The majority are doom and gloom. Oh, it's quiet. You know, it's all excuses. It's all negatives. It's not solutions. You want to stand out from the crowd? Yes. This is how you can start to stand out from the crowd, whether in business or in life. You can put this process into if you need to be introduced to people. It's the exact same way. You can do the same things. Next part of the process. This is where, how are we going to find them? Now, a lot of people say to me when I don't have a lot of connections. I don't know that many people. You know, I live in my house or I work online and I don't get out a lot. Again, negatives. It's a negative response. It's not the point of what they could do. What solution could they find? So for myself, it's a case of, are you out networking? If you're in business, you should be networking. You should be going to online events locally, nationally, globally. You should be going to some in-person events. If you're back to in-person events, after all the lockdowns we had, there's some face-to-face meetings happening again and face-to-face conferences. It's slowly coming back to it. But guess what? More people are staying online because of the time efficiency. Online is going to be here for a lot longer than what a lot of people thought. If you want to find out about other networking groups that you should be looking at, reach out to Anthony or reach out to myself, because we both have access to one of the fastest growing global networks in the world with the people who have got the positive mindset, and it's affordable for all. So reach out to us, we can help you with that. What email lists do you have? And again, a lot of people, when they say, oh, I don't have a lot of business contacts, did I say a business email list? Or did I just say an email list? The people on your email list, you know, either most of them might have jobs, some of them might have businesses, but a lot of them will know other people, yes. So never think that that person won't know who you need connected to. You don't know until you know. When I talk about telling the world, I mean tell the world. If you've got the opportunity, it's your choice. Tell as many people about your goals, about who you need to be introduced to. This is how you stand out from the crowd, not just go into the background. Because there will be people, I can guarantee you there's people in this, like I said, people in your family that probably don't know really what it is you do or how you do it. But all you need to tell them is who you need connected to. They'll probably have someone like that or something like that, or know someone that can help you with that and they can connect you. And I'm sure your friends and family and all that really want you to be successful. If they don't, well, that's different. It's a different story. Move on to the next family member. Don't need to follow that person, your family, if they're that negative. Work with the people that want to work with you. So your email lists are there. And then you've got social media. Yes, social media's got a lot of negative parts in it. Don't bother with negative stuff. Get your message out there. Get your message on social media. Start getting yourself out there. One of our recent speakers at Masterclass session last month was Tony Lontis. Phenomenal lady from Australia, who originally was a nurse, and now she's got her own online TV broadcasting network with lots of channels, like a Netflix. And it's all individual, small to medium-sized business owners that are all in her network, all doing their own TV shows. Who would have thought it? Because it doesn't cost a lot of money now. And one of the things she said is get yourself out there, get yourself seen. There's no reason now. You can record from your phone, you can do anything, get some video onto social media. Tell your story to people. Tell people who you want to be introduced to and why they should be coming to you and not your competition. You don't need to sell to them. You need to tell the story. This is what I do for my clients, and this is how I can add value. If you know, like, and trust me, and you want to introduce me to people like that, thank you very much. But get your message out there on social media. Start to use it effectively. A lot of people, you still have to put in little bits and pieces of non-personal stuff and all the just stuff that happens on social media. But every now and again, with a purpose and with a process, at least once or twice a week, do something that's going to help you achieve your goals. Setting on that path. This process is easy. Don't make it difficult. Next part. What strategy or process are you implementing to contact your lists? Now, I did lead in from that the same process a minute ago. But you could do all those bits beforehand. And then if you don't have a strategy or a process, and you're just going to do things randomly, guess what? You're just going to have a random result. It could be positive, it could be negative. But if you put a strategy in place and you put processes in with it and be consistent with your strategy and your processes, with all your contacts and your lists, you will get results. Guaranteed. It's guaranteed. When I came back into business after retiring, this is the process I used. And every time I started a new business or I've brought in a new member of my team, I educated them in this process because I wanted them to do what I had done. And they replicate it. And guess what? They brought more people, more clients, more customers, etc. into the business because they just did their exercise. This protection circle, everyone's should have this protection circle around them. So if you've got staff, get your staff to do this exercise as well for you, for your business, because they will have people that they've not thought of that are potential clients for the business. Or if you're taking it outside the business and putting it into a life process, the same. People in your connection sphere, get them to think the same way as you, get them to do that exercise for you, and you'll get the results. Because you want to make sure you've got your strategy processes and you've got them written down again. Now, there's great software out there that you can use. There's lots of automated software you can use. Again, one of our previous speakers at Masterclass sessions, Blaney Teal from Florida. She is a software automation. Oh, she just loves IT. She loves it. She gave us about 20 odd, Anthony will probably confirm on this. She gave us about 20 different tools that we could use to make our life and our businesses so much easier. I'm already using 2 or 3 of them. I've got another 2 or 3 that I have used in my businesses. That's why I can do what I do in the timeline that I do as well, because I've got stuff that's done automatically for me. It's done when I'm sleeping. It's done when I'm making the breakfast. It's done when I'm away with the family at the weekends. Having the strategy and the processes and the bits of It doesn't have, you don't have to spend a lot of money on quite a lot of the tools. They can do things for you while you're not there. All you need to do is make sure you do the planning side of it, and you set it all up. When you do that and you've got those strategies and processes in place, it means you've got that constant connecting, that little drip all the time with your connections, with the people that you want to meet, etc., etc. And again, as you've started this process and you've thought about your categories, you've got your top 8, you're thinking of all the bits and pieces, all the ways that you're going to get your lists and all your connections. Now you're thinking what strategy and process I've got. Can you see how this is all with your goals that we set at the start? How this is just, this whole path is so simple to do. You just need to do it. And when you've got it in black and white in front of you, either handwritten or on a computer, whatever way is easy for you, it's not difficult. Make sure you print it out. Make sure you put it on a wall somewhere. Or make sure you can read it every day to make sure that sometimes now you might have to review it. Things change. But you've got it there for you to review. And are you getting the results? Because sometimes if you're not getting results, you need to review because you might have missed something. Next part. Again, with this protection circle, you need to really, really start thinking of who do I need to schedule one-to-one meetings with? And this is from these are potential introducing business partners, okay? Now, when I talked about your top 8, I'm going to use accountants as an example. It's a nice, easy one. Everyone loves accountants, don't they? Yeah, I used to be an ex-accountant a long, long time ago when I was in my late teens before I went on a different career path. And with accountants, for example, I know when I speak to accountants, especially when I'm there in this one-to-one meeting about how can I help them. Remember, the more people you can help, the more people will help you back. So always impart your scheduling and processes and what can I do to help the people I'm going to have one-to-one meetings with? Do your homework on them, find out about them if you can. Or if you don't, the first meeting is about finding out, the second part is about getting down and actually having a business meeting, not just a get-together. If you're in business, too many people in business have a one-to-one get-together, a coffee and a chat, and they talk, maybe an hour goes past, no outcomes, no action points, no activity to happen. When I talk about schedule one-to-one meeting, it's a one-to-one business meeting. It's got a purpose, it's got an agenda, and it's got an action. You're going to walk away with actions, activities to do. Because you want your introducing business partners to be starting to think about who they're going to connect you to. If Anthony gets me back again, probably at the next conference, I'll do part 3, which shows you a whole strategy of how you do those scheduled one-to-one meetings. I could spend 2 hours just on that part alone. But you need to schedule the one-to-one meetings with these people. And you need to focus a lot of your time. I said 80% of your time you want to do one-to-one meetings with your top 8 business categories. And I bet you if you went into LinkedIn or went online and put in accountants, your area, you'll get a list of probably more than you could probably handle in a year. All you have to do is pick a few from your other categories of the 8, and that's you. Start filling up your diary, start contacting these people, ask to be introduced to these people. You'll probably find a lot of your connections probably know these people, will do a personal introduction for you, and it makes it easier for you to schedule your one-to-ones with them. If you haven't got that, get out networking, as we said, get your email list going out asking for these introductions, these business categories, and get people to feed back to you on that and open doors for you. Remember, 80% of your time is going to be spent on this process. You know, I'm not talking about 80% of your time. You need to do your business. This is 80% of the time that you have allocated to grow your business. Okay? Because if you're scheduling your one-to-ones with these potential introducing business partners, I can guarantee you, the more they get to know, like, and trust you, and the more you get to know, like, and trust them, you will be doing so much more business with them, and you'll get to know them so much better. You'll actually be starting to probably meet them socially as well. They'll become friends. I've got so many friends globally now that started off with a one-to-one business meeting that turned into a great relationship, a strong relationship. And I can't think of anybody else I would pass my best client to for a certain product than these people. And they're the same. As soon as they get someone, they think of me. Would you like that as well? When people are thinking of you? And again, this is either in the business world or in life. depending on what you're offering. But the most important part, and where the power is, it's in the follow-up. You need to ensure you've got a full follow-up process in place. Because if you're not following up, that's like throwing money down a well. It's like just giving it's like gambling or whatever. You're just taking a risk. If you're not following up, you're actually opening a door and then leaving that door wide open for no one ever to walk through that again. You need to make sure if you open that door that you continue across that. You need to keep walking into that door, keep walking into that space. Because if you're not following up with the people you're having your one-to-one meetings with, they're going to forget about you. They're going to forget about you. Life gets in the way. They might not be thinking in the same way that your mind's working because you're not helping them. You're not supporting them to understand how they to be more successful business people. And that ripple effect is huge. The ripple effect of them being successful, that ripple effect of what they can do with their success. That's where I get a lot of my rewards when I'm helping other people globally, because I love seeing people see the successes, see them grow. Success is different from every different business, but I like success and making money. Okay, so if they're being successful and they're making money at the same time, fantastic. But what you need to do is when you're having your one-to-one meeting, at the end of that meeting, you just don't say, thanks, great, and walk away. You say, right, okay. The action point is, when we get together to discuss what we're going to bring back to the table for each other, let's get the diary now. It gives us something, it gives us, again, it gives us a goal, it gives us a bit of accountability. Let's set a date. Do you want to do it next month, or do you want to do one a month, or do you want to do one per quarter? Now, I didn't say let's just have one there, did I? I said, do you want to have one per month, or do you want to have one per quarter? They've got a choice. It's not a case of, all right, I might see you once again. You want to build a relationship with that person because you know they're going to be good for you, and you're going to be good for them too. You need to make sure you've got those touch points all the way through the year. Maybe once a month might be a bit too much for some people, depending on the client bank. You might have to. I've got one accountant that's given me 4 introductions per week just now for one of my businesses. I make sure I have a meeting with him once a month, as you can imagine. The meetings I have with them are all about how are we getting on with the clients we're giving us. How the follow-up, when we're discussing is, what do we need to do next for their clients, for his clients? What can we do more? What can I do more for him? The amount of business that he's getting back, once the clients come to us, we do what we do for them, they go back and say, oh my goodness, they do even more business with the accountant. So they're loving it. So what are you going to do? Because if you're doing your one-to-ones and you're doing that schedule, you get your diary out and you put them in. The more touch points you've got that people, the easier it is for you to build those relationships. The more they get to know you, the more they get to like you, the more they get to trust you. The more they want to bring you the connections that you deserve. So work on those relationships. You take them, you surround yourself with this protection circle, and you make sure they're really, really, really strong relationships that you're building. It takes a bit of time, but it's worth the time. Because those strong relationships make a massive difference to how you can really be more successful and do it a lot easier as well. A lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, they take the hard path all the time. They think it can't be that simple, but guess what? It is that simple. Some people just like to make things difficult. So let's see how this whole process gets pulled together. Because if you've done your goals, and then you've got to the point of protection circle, you've got all these parts around, you need to monitor your success. You need to know your numbers. So if you're doing this process, create a little database or an Excel spreadsheet or get yourself a little book or whatever. You need to start monitoring your success. Okay? especially if you start the process, because you want to see the change. You want to see the change that's been made and when you implement this simple process, because the results will happen. And if you know that you're doing it with purpose and you've got the strategy in place, and you've got the process in place, and you've got this constant vision of where you want to be and what you want to do, and you've got the goals that's going to help you achieve your dream and achieve your vision, you can actually start to monitor your success and see how you're getting closer and closer. Now, you might find when you're monitoring your success that the bread and butter goal you've set, you've done it in a couple of months. That shows that you've not thought big enough. A lot of people think too small. So the next time I do this exercise every year, I take a month off between the 15th of December to the 15th of January, and I do this process. I don't do it for the following year. I'm doing it for the year next. So when I sit down this December 2022, I'm working on my vision, my goals, and my protection circle for 2024. I've already got 2023s in the bag. I know where we're going. Do you? If you've got that in place and you've got it in black and white, you can monitor your successes. You can say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't push myself. I was too comfortable in there. And when you're comfortable in your business, that's all right. Things are going okay. You need to be pushing yourself so you're always constantly uncomfortable in your business. You want to be striving for more. You need to be in that uncomfortable area. When you're in that uncomfortable place, that's growth. That's what you want to be. You want to keep pushing that little boundary, pushing that barrier, keep pushing to the next level. Every year, look at your goals. Say, right, okay, did we set them right? If it was a case of maybe you didn't achieve your goals, you say, right, okay, I'm sure I can get this goal. You set that goal and you go for it again the following year and you'll smash it because you learn from your mistakes in year one, or maybe what parts you missed. Maybe there's a certain part of the process you didn't do that you thought, oh, I'm not going to do that. You realise it's a very important part you need to put back in. But monitor those successes. One of the massive things, though, is, as I've said here, is what you can give helps you receive more. I've been a giver since I was a young entrepreneur at 13. I always want to help other people. I've always wanted to do more for other people. I've always wanted to introduce them to people. I'm a master connector globally. I can't help but when someone says something, I can't help thinking of people that I want to introduce them to. So if you want to have a one-to-one with me, I really would love it and love to help you grow your business. Just get my details from Anthony. Anthony will give them to you. If I can give to every single person in the world, there'll be other people in the world that want to give back to me. So it's the same for you. The more you give, the more other people give back. You might not get back from the person you give it to directly, but someone somewhere, law of attraction, it's a whole load of this big universe that's out there, it will bring it back to you. But give more and you will receive more. And you'll get it quicker. The amount of businesses out there are takers. You probably know many like that. The hunters that are out there that take. They get to a certain point in their careers or their businesses and they flatten out. And you probably find it's quite a lot of those ones that are takers are the ones that never succeed or they fail or the business is closed down. We find quite a lot of the businesses that are giving, they're receiving, and guess what? They're on a continual growth path. So put that into your strategy and your process. That every meeting you sit down is, how can I help give to this person? If you know, like, and trust them, remember, it might take a little bit of time. But the more you give, the more you will receive. And again, that's the same in life as well. The more you give to the universe, the more you receive back to the universe in life. So to wrap things up, remember, if you want to stand out from the crowd, you have to take that correct action and make the positive results. So hopefully today I've given you those quick, easy, effective goal settings that everyone can action, and also surround yourself with businesses that can give to you and to give to your business consistently. Thanks very much. Hopefully it's made a difference to you. Hopefully you'll take some bits from it. If there are any questions you've got, get them in the chat. You can always send them to Andy if you're watching the recording. Thank you. That's it from me, from Steve Gaston, founder of the Masterclass Sessions. Hope to see you there as a golden ticket or as one of our new subscribers to get access to all those great speakers that I seem to find who make a difference to the community as well. And back over to you, Anthony.
I appreciate it, Steve. I had to come back out and get everything set up. But I am looking at the chat to see if we have any questions out there. I did see somebody did say good morning. So Diane said good morning to all of us, and it was a great session, and I do appreciate that. And I think it was a great session. Do we have any questions for those of you in the Zoom room? If so, you can put it in the chat. But Steve, it was a very great session. I really appreciate you coming on to speak here and to speak before the audience that we have today, and the audience that will be there later on, because it is a Saturday and this is the day a lot of people kind of relax. They've had this work week. When it comes to this, you talked about getting connected within groups. Okay, and there's a lot of different things. Where would be somebody that maybe they only have one social media channel? Which channel would you look at be the best for connecting business wise?
Business wise, LinkedIn. LinkedIn in the UK and Europe has been huge now for years. I think there's more and more global people actually using LinkedIn more and more now. Definitely LinkedIn for me. It's a great way to be introduced to people. It's a great way of connecting to people. And a lot of people that are on LinkedIn have got a business mindset. They're there. They're not there for social. They're there with business, with a bit of social. But yeah, definitely, I would say definitely LinkedIn is my place for business. I do say you should be looking at most of the channels for bits and pieces, but I would focus quite a lot of your time on LinkedIn.
Yes, and I'd have to agree on that one, because that's exactly where Steve and I met, was through
Yes,
LinkedIn.
it was.
Yes. So, I think about it this way too. This has been building you, is the name of entrepreneurs and all that stuff. I think I just muted myself by accident. But one of the things is this can be applied to anybody out there. It doesn't matter whether you are working a 9-to-5 job, maybe you're just out of high school, maybe you're in high school and you're looking to start a dream, whatever it may be, wherever you may be at in life. This same method that we have been teaching, not only from all the sessions from Marco to Charlie to Mandy to myself the other day, and then to Steve, all of these things that they have taught can be applied to your life, even if you're just starting out looking for a job. Now, when somebody's looking for a job, how effective do you think what you shared today will help somebody?
Oh, as I said, like if you, for example, if you're coming out of university and you've mastered, or even you haven't mastered, you've got a 2-1, whatever, you come out of college, whatever it is, and you need to be in, you know what type of job you want. Now, you can go to a recruitment company and you can go XYZ, but if you know that you need to speak to, like say it's an IT company specialist, do your research. Who do you know that deals with IT companies? So you might go and say, right, okay, who deals with IT companies? Or maybe a marketing company or something. You go, oh, marketing companies, they probably know IT people, or web design companies probably know IT people, or, it's thinking, who do I know that's got access to that? Not just one IT company, but a load. Because if they know how good you are at what you do, and you've came out of university or came out of a job or made redundant with 25 years experience, and they know how good you are at, they're going to do a verbal introduction to someone that can make a difference for you. You're not just going to be a CV or a bit of paper or a letter coming in or an email coming in or a text. You're going to get a warm introduction. Someone's going to make a phone call for you to say, I know a great person called Anthony Reid. He's phenomenal at what he does. I think he should be doing stuff for, in politics and in the world. I think he should be doing stuff with the governor. You never know where that conversation then is going to take that person and go, great, Steve, if you say this person's great, they're going to go and speak to someone that can make a difference. And this process, it's exact same, whether, as I said, whether in business or whether in life. You just need to look at how does this process work whatever the situation that you've got. Does that make sense? So I think
I keep muting myself because I'm trying to give the speaker the time, but it makes perfect sense. And that's the thing. It doesn't, I think it goes back to what, I had spoken about a little bit, and it goes back to what every one of us, it's interesting how our messages are, though they're prepared differently, it's still the same core message. It goes back to we're helping to grow each and every one of you, no matter where you're at in life, whether you are, and I've said it before, whether you're someone that stays at home and wants to build a home, or however you want to do it. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. Every one of this can apply to you. I mean, there is, and Steve, you were talking about some of the social groups. That's another massive opportunity that, that people can join and just be able to connect. I've connected with people all over the world because of Masterclass and because of the groups that we've had, and because of getting on the LinkedIn live streaming and that's a whole another subject which I talked about yesterday. But just, utilize all these techniques that we have all shared with you. And I think that you will find it most useful in your career, wherever you're at. So, Steve, there's, we got a few more minutes. Is there any last words that you have?
I think for myself, as you know, I try to help as many people globally as possible get better. And that's my whole purpose, is to help people get better. And there's a lot of people out there that, and you and I know, that sometimes they just don't know where to go. They don't know who to speak to. They don't know who they can ask for help or support. And all I can say is, for anyone out there, no matter what the situation is, there are people out there that can help you. Now, yes, I'm always happy to steer people in, as I said, in a relevant direction. I've got so many contacts globally. You're the same. You've got so many people globally that you can help connect to. If you're out there and you're thinking, is this really for me? Can I do this? Can I achieve? Can I be successful? Or can I do what I've got to do? The answer is yes, you can. You get two choices. You can either say, no, you can't, and you won't. Or you can say, yes, I can, and you will. It's having that positive mindset that makes a massive difference, from good to great, from great to phenomenal, and from phenomenal to stratospheric. It's all in the mindset. So having that positive mindset is where it all begins. And if you're, as I said, wherever you are on your path just now, reach out to someone like myself or Anthony, or someone that you look up to ask them a little bit of advice, so they can help steer you in the right direction. Because if you're already thinking, is it for me? Guess what? It is. Because if you're thinking that way, it means it is that way. It is for you. You just need to take action and do something about it.
That is true. That is true. And that is the thing. Just do something about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank once again Steve Gasson for coming to speak here today. We really appreciate that, and I appreciate the time that you spent in this and the preparation and everything like that. So I think with that in mind, we're going to end this session. We've got one more session. It will not be in the Zoom room. We will be I'll actually be doing that on our live streaming platform. So, it's coming to the end, but it's been a good one, and we still got one more session to go. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. I want to give a hand out to all the speakers, and I thank every one of them for their time and their effort for helping in this wonderful, wonderful conference. But until next time, y'all have a good rest of your weekend, and hopefully see you in the chat on the next one.